In this video, I want to do just another discussion about Bergson's philosophy. I'm still doing some discussions out of Chapter 2 of Matter and Memory by Henri Bergson, and I'm reading out of the Chapter 2 of the recognition of images. And in this video, I'm going to talk about basically page 99 and page 109. Just talking a little bit about he's talking about the relation or the effect of perception on memory and vice versa, and I guess how memory has effect on perception, and what that means for for people like Ribot, the psychological writer, which he is responding to at the time of his writing this, that he's basically trying to say in this whole book in various different ways that if we are to look at parts of the brain, if we're to find certain brain states, we can't. He's saying that we can't find correlates. We can't find correlates that are of mental states. We can't directly move towards figuring out brain or mental states by looking at brain states. He's saying that the mind is a different thing that we can't really infer everything about if we study the brain. He's a dualist philosopher, and I guess I just want to talk about here these couple things. In those cases where recognition is attentive, where memory images are regularly united with the present perception, is it the perception which determines mechanically the appearance of memories, or is it the memories which spontaneously go to meet the perception? And he says that this depends on our opinion as to how brain states are related to mental states. On the first hypothesis, the disorders of memory occasioned by a cerebral lesion would result from the fact that the recollections occupied the damaged region were destroyed with it. So, if you're going to be Theodore Ribot, the psychological writer that he's responding to, who thinks that that brain states correspond directly to mental states, that's saying that memories are stored in a certain part of the cerebrum, or a certain part of your brain, and that when a cerebral lesion occurs, basically like a big scar, I guess, on your cerebrum, and that damages all the memories. That once that lesion occurs, you're damaging all the memories. On the second hypothesis, these lesions would affect our nascent or possible action, but our action alone. Again, nascent action is basically action that is possible and, of course, occurring. It's occurring and it's moving into it's like potentiality that is definitely moving towards being that is moving towards happening very, very soon. It's nascent action in that it's possible, but it's more than possible. It's possible in that it's happening, and that it's happening and will happen. The thing nascent in the way that he's kind of saying it is different from mere potentiality. It's a different way of talking about it. But the second hypothesis is saying that if we get a cerebral lesion, that it doesn't affect our memories, but it affects how we perceive things going forward, how we move forward and seeing things and having perception, and the memories that follow from our perceptions to come, are going to be affected by this lesion. But the memories that are already there are not going to be affected by this lesion, because there's no cerebral. According to Bergson, there's no cerebral localization. He says that we can't really say that there's memories that are stored in a certain part of the cerebrum, and were a lesion to happen there, the memories would be damaged. So the hypothesis that the lesion would only affect nascent action, that is his argument. I go 109 here. And he says, I listen to two people speaking in a language which is unknown to me. Do I therefore hear them talk? The question is, how can the knowledge of a language which is only memory modify the material content of a present perception and cause some listeners actually to hear what others in the same physical conditions do not hear? So how can, not having knowledge of someone speaking French, and hearing someone speaking French and knowing what they're saying, which is memory, how can that modify material content of a present perception and cause some listeners to actually hear what others in same current physical conditions do not hear? And he discusses a good bit about this, and I'm just going to talk about this, why this is important. And the truth very much is that if you do learn French, if you learn German, and you hear someone speak German, or if you read a German novel after having learned German, and you're pretty fluent in it, you're gonna know what it's saying. You're gonna know what the plot is. You're gonna understand you're gonna understand every nuance of everything that's really going on. However, if you hadn't learned German and then read the novel, you will have no idea what is going on. You might understand some cognates of your own language there. For instance, the word ball in German is der Ball. The ball in German is der Ball. There's cognates in the language, and the only thing that you would understand is the cognates of your own language in there, and that's not really that much. So you're going to be lost. And his hypothesis, his argument, is that things that occur, in the memory, things that are what the memory is, affects the perception going forward always. What we are in the past, and again, like I've said in many videos about him, he says that consciousness is the boundary or the bridge between past and future. Consciousness and this philosophy of mind that he has is about time, because memory has a lot to do with who we are and where we're going. The past has to do with what the future holds, and that's I've talked a lot about all these things, and I'm trying to get more of these topics in, and it's like he said that if we have a lesion, it won't affect our memory, because the mind is something different from the body, But the point here is that he has the belief that that what the memory is, and everything that the memory contains, is going to affect the future. It will affect the perceptions going forward, and the perceptions that will be prolonged into movement. I think this is a very neat thing to think about. And I guess what would be your belief about, or your opinion on this? My opinion would be that he is correct. I mean, I'm a dualist, as well as Bergson, and I think that if we do get a lesion, on our cerebrum, that will affect some things, whether it be recollective memory or motor mechanism memory. He says that there's two kinds of memory, recollections and motor mechanisms. I think if we do get a lesion somewhere, that has some memory in it, and it all does really, then it's going to be affected. I think that it's going to affect your memories of the past as well. I think just a little bit, but I mean maybe I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. But I also think that I also totally agree that what we have accumulated in our past, in our memory, makes us who we are in the future, and makes us it basically governs what happens in perception as they are prologued into movement. And I guess this idea of what you think about how memory is related to perception and vice versa. This whole thing is kind of be dominated on what your stance is on the mind body problem, as to whether you're a monist, materialist, or like a physicalist, or if you're on the dualist side. If you are a Bergson expert and you think I've butchered something here, please comment below. I'd love to discuss with you, or if you have a question, also definitely comment on the side here. I'd love to discuss things with you. Thank you.